Hello, Kevin Cosmo here, and today I want to show you 3 simple ways you can increase the amount of self-control you have, improve the amount of willpower you have at your disposal. So it makes it easier for you to stay on the diet you want to stay on, stick to the exercise program, stay away from the smoking, whatever habit you want to drop off or whatever habit you want to pick up. You're going to need to use some willpower. You're going to need to use some self-control to stay away from the cravings and to stick onto the course you want to stay on. So these 3 simple ways can really objectively increase the amount of self-control and willpower we have. Self-control, willpower, this actually can be measured. It's not something you have, well, we've all probably experienced. I don't have an infinite amount of it. At some point, I become weaker. At some point, I become more susceptible to making silly decisions, to making decisions that go away from the goals I had set for myself. By the end of the day, I'm finding myself eating something I hadn't planned on eating at the beginning of the day. Has that ever happened to you? Well, then you can experience for yourself that self-control, willpower, it's limited. You can't stretch it out. At some point, you run out of it. But in noticing that, we can notice that we can actually improve how much we have of it. We can be more diligent in our use of it, more aware of our use of it. So I'm going to show you these 3 techniques here. The first technique is focusing on improving a measure that you might not know about. It's called heart rate variability. And heart rate variability directly corresponds to our ability to make wise decisions, to our ability to make thought-out decisions. When our heart rate variability drops low, then we'll find ourselves in the fight or flight response. Once we're in that state, we're not thinking too clearly, we're making snap decisions, that cheesecake becomes gobbled down. We make quick decisions, impulsive decisions when our heart rate variability goes lower. On the converse side, when our heart rate variability is high, we make more thought-out decisions, more rational decisions, more decisions that are in line with our goals. So how do we improve our heart rate variability? Well, a simple way to do that is to breathe consciously. Meditation, just 5 minutes a day. It's been shown that as soon as we can, and so you can use this to slow down, you can breathe and slow down. Say you see the cheesecake in front of you and it's against your dietary choices or goals, breathe. When you have a choice to make that's difficult, that requires self-control, willpower, slow down. Get yourself to ideally you want to get yourself down to 4, 5, 6 breaths a minute. But research has shown that anything below 12 breaths per minute dramatically improves our heart rate variability, thereby enabling us to make wiser decisions in that moment. So start to meditate. That's the first key we can use to improve the amount of self-control we have. Think about meditation itself. 5 minutes of consciously bringing ourselves back to the attention spot we want. Say it's the breath. Anytime you find yourself off track, you bring yourself back. Isn't that exactly what we're trying to do in all our other habits? Whether it's exercise, you skip a day, you get back in the gym. You miss a meal, you get back on track. So meditation is simply refocusing our attention back where we want it to go. That's exactly what we want to do as far as self-control and willpower for every instance. So meditation is a fantastic practice ground. Not only is it just practice, it's not just virtually running through it, our brain starts to make changes. We start to experience physiological changes that make us more capable of planning, more capable of longer range thought. Our prefrontal cortex actually develops from meditation. After just 3 hours, we can see significant improvements in people's self-control and their willpower. After 11 hours of meditation, it can be 5 minutes a day added up, but after 11 hours of meditation, they can notice significant changes in the brain. MRI readings can show a significant improvement in growth in the prefrontal cortex, which means we're actually working out that muscle. We're actually becoming better rational thinkers, better planners, better long-range seers, and that's going to be a benefit for us. So, number 1, meditation. 5 minutes a day. Just commit to 5 minutes a day, focusing on your breath. Anytime you get off track, bring it back. The second practice we can put into effect to improve the amount of self-control we have, increase the amount of willpower we have at our disposal, is going to be, this technique dramatically improves our ability to feel good. Our mood improves from this practice, and we also notice a dramatic decrease in caffeine consumption, in smoking, in drinking, in poor food choices. What could this possibly be? What is this magic pill? It's exercise. Physical exercise. They've shown that just 15 minutes on a treadmill makes someone completely different as far as being able to deny the donut or deny the cigarette. If you want to experience this for yourself, the next time you're experiencing a craving, say you had the chocolate cake or you're at the store, take 5 minutes. Better yet, take 10 minutes or 15 minutes and go walk around the outside of the store, go walk around the block of your house. Take 15 minutes, do some push-ups. Your perspective will change once you've exercised, once you've gotten your heart rate up. Get out there and move for 15 minutes and you'll see a dramatic decrease in your desire to partake in unhealthy habits. And this goes beyond just that momentary improvement. Once again, we're seeing development in our prefrontal cortex through cardiovascular activity, through physical activity. When we're playing a physical sport, say it's soccer or some other game, volleyball, you're making a lot of snap decisions. Even when you're out running on a trail or something, you're making a lot of decisions, whether you're noticing it or not. Your body is making a lot of snap decisions on the terrain, how to adjust itself. And these decisions, when we become better at making decisions, that starts to enhance parts of our brain that help us make better decisions in other areas of our life as well. So physical exercise, a fantastic way to improve this element for ourselves. Now, number 3, this one's going to be critical for parents, particularly on how to increase our self-control, increase the amount of willpower we have, make it easier for us to stick to what we want to stick to. And that's going to be getting enough sleep. Because if we don't get enough sleep, now parents, I know you're experiencing this for sure. New parents definitely have lived this, or maybe you're living this currently. You make far less wise decisions, as you would probably call them. You might find yourself more emotionally snappy, saying things you wouldn't normally say or wouldn't want to say. You might find yourself making dietary choices you wouldn't necessarily want to make. You may not find yourself feeling desire to get out and move or be physically active. You'll notice a lot of decreases in positive, healthy behaviors when we decrease the amount of sleep we have. We just become far less discriminatory and far less able to monitor ourselves. Our self-control, our willpower, our reserves go down. Our heart rate variability goes down when we decrease the amount of sleep we have. I'm reminded of a story of Phineas Gage, and this was from the book, The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal. And in that, she tells the story of Phineas Gage, who was a railway worker who they were blowing up things to excavate areas for the train to go through, and he was doing a routine explosion, and it wasn't so routine what happened. A piece of metal shot through his brain and came out the other side. And while he somehow was able to live through this, there was part of his brain that was taken out. And so because of this accidental lobotomy, he was missing part of his brain that made him more discriminatory. And what they discovered in future research was that damage to this part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, resulted in far less discriminatory behavior. So Phineas Gage, who was a very well-respected, honorable man before the accident, became very crude in his behavior, saying things that he would not normally say in society that would be considered rude or lewd. He became far less discriminatory in his health choices. He became a poor eater, just eating things at random, eating just on the whim, as opposed to being able to decide whether it was a wise choice or not. And on a milder side, when we sleep deprive ourselves, they come up with a definition for this called mild prefrontal dysfunction. And so we don't ever want to experience this as parents or as people in general, because it's going to leave us with lower reserves of self-control, lower reserves of willpower. But thankfully, we can remedy this pretty easily. Even just an hour-long nap shows an increase in our ability to control ourselves, an increase in our willpower. So if you find yourself deprived when you wake up, maybe you can try to get in a nap. Maybe you can try to get a longer stretch in whenever you can, because we've also found that if you can sleep, say, 9 hours one night and then you get 6, 6, 6, at least that 9 helped to make up for some of the sixes that you're going to get. So if you have the opportunity to sleep in or to catch a little longer spurt of sleep and you know you're sleep deprived, take that longer spurt. It's going to help you make some wise decisions. It's going to help you see an increase in your self-control and willpower. So those are 3 fantastic ways that I've experienced myself and I've used with clients. And I think if you tried them for yourself, you'll certainly experience the improvements as well. So number 1, get some meditation in. 5 minutes a day, you'll see significant improvements. Number 2, get out and be physically active. This is going to be good on a multitude of other health levels, but this will improve your self-control and willpower as well. And number 3, get some sleep. get some rest. If you're underslept, expect yourself to be less discriminatory. So prepare as well. If you find yourself not able to get that sleep, start to prepare and recognize, I'm gonna need to have some food prepped up, some healthy food, whatever healthy is for you, healthy food prepped up in the fridge, because I'm gonna run to fridge when I'm hungry and just open it up. I'm not gonna be thinking a whole lot or be wanting to wait 30 minutes or an hour. So get ahead of yourself, make it easy for that sleep deprived version of yourself to still be healthy, to still make the goals you wanna make. So set yourself up for success. I hope you enjoyed these 3 tips, and if you want even more tips on how to have more energy, how to live a high energy life, subscribe to this channel.